business is something you're always learning, something it's never boring. But I think that just remembering what's important, who's important, and at the end of the day, what's going to be left over is the people you love.
The following is a Big Sky Economic Development production.
It's Mars B.
And Kavo.
And this is The Vault at 201 North Broadway.
A business podcast.
Where we bring you entrepreneurs, small business owners, and community leaders of Montana.
To share their stories, expertise, industry insights, and strategies.
And we are sharing them all with you every single week.
You don't want to miss this.
Learn how to better start, manage, and grow your business.
And your leadership style.
Tangible takeaways to save you time and improve whatever it is that you're working on.
You're listening to The Vault.
Thank you to the Small Business Development Center for sponsoring The Vault at 201 North Broadway. The Small Business Development Center offers free personalized support from business plans to financial projections and beyond, empowering small businesses to thrive. Reach out to us at bigsky.economicdevelopment.org. Today, joining us on The Vault is Becky Salyer. We are so delighted to have you here and excited to talk about your business, Bumps and Bundles.
Yes, awesome. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Yes.
So we love your store.
Thank you.
Even though neither of us have kids. It's gorgeous. So whenever there's like a baby shower in our lives, we're there buying cute books, stuffed animals, other fun gifts. And it's just stunning. And you guys have expanded.
Well, yes, we did. In 2021, we expanded, doubled our footprint, which was really fun.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So everyone probably listening right now is like, what is Bumps and Bundles? So share with us, what is Bumps and Bundles?
Sure. So we are a children's and maternity boutique. So we carry items for mom and then kids of all ages. A lot of times the misconception is that we just have baby items, but selfishly, my daughter is 10. And so my store products or product lines have grown from, just that infant product line to up to like a 10, 12-year-old kid. So we have things for all ages. And we do have a brand called Jellycat. And we have kids of all ages, even...
I love Jellycat.
Yeah, even into...
adults of all ages.
Exactly. I bet probably 20 different kids or, young adults a week come in looking like, what do you have new for Jellycat? They collect them. So it's kind of fun. We not only service just moms, but we also service people that are collecting cute things that we carry.
So
that's awesome.
I want to get more into that, the brands and things you carry, because
And
you do have
Jellycat.
and Jellycat, the stunning outfits that I'm like, I wish those were in adult sizes.
Oh, so true.
Right. Yeah. So you've created Bumps and Bundles. Like, can you talk to us a little bit we would like to get to know and have our audience get to know you, like where you grew up and,
Sure.
and what was that career path to opening Bumps and Bundles and creating Bumps and Bundles?
Sure. So I grew up in Bozeman, born and raised there, actually in Belgrade. So I was a little outside of Bozeman. My dad was an insurance salesman and my mom was a stay-at-home mom. There were 5 kids in my family, so it was chaos all
Yes.
the time.
And where do you fall?
I'm the 4th of 5.
Oh,
I'm 4
okay.
of 6.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's the best.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
I'm
the best
oldest,
number.
so I don't relate, but
I love all my siblings,
Yes.
but my oldest sister is amazing too. So, watched my dad kind of do his own business and run his own thing. And I really admired that in him. And I started working at a place called Bagel Works. I don't know if you guys have ever been
I've
to
heard
Bagel
of it.
Works in
Yeah.
Bozeman. You have to go there next time you're in Bozeman.
Okay.
It's so good. But I started working there when I was 13.
Oh, wow.
I would go in after school and I would, kind of close up the shop. And then as I grew into adolescence, I hired more of my friends from school. And it was kind of just like honestly, it was like hanging out. It was like so fun. So
your friends are there.
Exactly.
You're getting paid.
Yeah. So we'd all, hang out, make some bagel sandwiches, close up shop. And we got done at 3 every day. So it worked out great. And I worked there from the time I was 13 till I was about 22.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's some long work history.
Yeah.
Like
there
just
were
starting
a
out.
couple blippets where I would take time off and play basketball or, do sports, things like that, where I put my focus on different things, but I always kind of went back there. And at that point I was running the shop. I mean, I would tell the owner, like, we got it today, like, just go home.
Wow.
And I loved it there, but also I was like, I can't just do this like forever.
Yeah.
This is not my career path. I went to school at MSU and for photography. Oh, wow. And it was really
fun. Makes so much sense why your marketing is so amazing.
Well, thank you. So I loved that. And I actually dropped out. I was a college dropout. But I just kind of was like, I can learn this on YouTube. I just didn't feel like it was something I needed to stay in. So I dropped out, and I have ties to Ohio. That's where my dad's from, and my parents actually live there now. And I have a sister there. And I was like, I'm moving to Ohio. Went to Ohio, and I was like, I hate it here. This is not for me.
And I did New Jersey. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, not for me. So I lived there for a couple months and actually flew a friend out. We packed up all my stuff and I drove home, and I like got to Billings, and I was like, I think I'm just going to live here. Like, you live here. We're not making the rest of the 2-hour trip home. I'm just going to live here. So that's how I ended in Billings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So like Ohio. And how long were you there?
I think it was like 2.5 or maybe 3 months. It wasn't long
so
at all.
not.
I didn't give it much of a chance.
Well, that's okay. And then Billings, what was that like settling in, growing up in Bozeman, Belgrade, Ohio, and then Billings? Like, tell us about that.
Sure. So I did have friends here, kind of like from church ties. I went to like a private Christian school, went to church like 3 or 4 times a week. So I had some church friends that lived here who I like hung out the most with. That's the girl that came to Ohio to get me. So I kind of felt like I knew enough people here to settle in. And I started working at David's Bridal. I had a friend at the church that was there, and she's like, we're hiring part-time. And I was like, yeah, like, I need a job. I'd love to work there. That sounds fun. So I worked there for a while and worked up.
Did you just try on dresses all the time? I would have.
When we got new ones in, yes, but it was kind of frowned upon. Like, obviously we had to work, you know.
I just think of that episode with like Phoebe and Rachel, and they all get in their wedding dresses.
Yes. It was really fun to work there, and like super fun to, it's just pretty product. You can't like complain, and people are happy. They're in a happy phase of life. So it was a really fun job. And I worked up kind of through management. I started as a, part-time employee, became like their top bridal consultant, became an assistant manager, and then became store manager. And I had an employee that worked for me who worked at Victoria's Secret as well at the time. And she was doing both jobs and going to school. And I was like, if your store manager ever leaves that job, I want that job. And she was like, oh, she's never leaving. I'm like, okay, well, just putting it out there.
Just putting it out into the world to get manifested into reality.
Exactly. So about, I don't know, I'd say 8 months after I said that, her manager left and moved. So I applied with that position, and it was like the worst interview of my life, you guys. It was like, when you're just like, walk away from the interview and you're like, well, I bombed that.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
That for me. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. I got the job. I was like, these guys must be desperate. I don't know. It was so fun though. I loved that job. I got to do a lot of cool things. I got to go to the Victoria's Secret fashion show. We were like one of the top 100 stores in the nation, became one of the top 10 stores in the nation. So just kind of a lot of success. But again, I was like, this isn't like my forever here.
Yeah. Did you ever get to try on the like wings?
Yes, I actually owned a pair. I got rid of them. Isn't that so stupid of me?
That was crazy.
I just didn't know what to do with them.
Are they just as heavy as it? They
so heavy.
Like to hang them on the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I wanted to get like I had this vision of this beautiful closet.
Oh, yeah.
In the
a
center.
mannequin. Yeah. But, here I am. That didn't happen.
You sold the wings.
I don't even honestly know what I did with them. Very sad. Then I decided that, this maybe wasn't the career path. Actually, really the reality was I got pregnant. I went back to Victoria's Secret after my maternity leave and worked for, it was probably 3 shifts. And I was like, I cannot do this. Like I was, we'd stay there until 11 o'clock at night, making sure the store was cleaned up. And at that time, the mall closed I think they closed at 9. And I just was like, I want to be home putting my baby to bed. I don't want to be here like making sure that the store looks pretty. So I put my notice in, got a job at the Billings Gazette as a advertising salesperson.
Yeah.
And it was a really good experience, and I learned a lot. I got to work with a lot of small business owners, but I think, as I was working with them, I was like, I could totally do this.
Yeah.
It kind of gave me that confidence to just be like, what do I actually want for my future? Like, what does that look like? And so, yeah, here I am.
Here you are.
Yeah. So tell us about that, because you're getting good experience, because you're like, oh, this is how that part of this works. Selling ads and space for the Gazette. How did Bumps and Bundles come out of that? So you're like, yeah, I could do this, but why did you choose what you chose, and what was some of that inspiration behind what you chose?
So there was a store downtown called Kalela, and Tina Stinson owned it. Shout out, Tina. And she was getting ready to, I think, move, but she wanted to sell her business. She mostly did photography in the back. So it seemed like, I don't know, I was like kind of obsessed with it. I'd go there on my lunch break sometimes and buy Juliet a new outfit, my daughter. And she, I saw that she was selling, and I was like, I'd maybe be interested in buying that. Like, what are we looking at? And, so I started kind of just toying with the idea. And she actually turned down my offer when I went to the bank and got like funding. She was like, yeah, no, that's not going to work. And I said, okay, well,
At least you tried.
I already have a business plan. Like, let's just keep going forward. So I was still planning on opening the store, and I actually looked at the space at Shiloh Crossing that we're currently in. I just didn't take it at the time, and I ended up making a deal with Tina. We ended up making it happen. I purchased her store. I renamed and rebranded a lot. She was a little bit more like boho, shabby chic kind of vibe, and I feel like we're a little bit like more modern, kind of edgy vibe.
Yeah.
And that was kind of an interesting journey just to see, like, I remember getting in there and I was like, this is not really my style. Like, I loved her store and I loved her style, but then I got in there and I was like, I'm going to change it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we are.
And here we are.
That's okay.
Was this downtown?
Yes.
And where, like, now talking, like, where was that location?
So really close to where we are right now, actually. So, where Heinz Creative is?
Yes.
That was my space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Very cool.
How soon did you change it to Bumps and Bundles right away?
right away. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I was just wondering, I was like, did you go through a few different names, or you were just like, this is what it's going to be?
And how did you, like, where'd you
how'd
get
you
the
come
name?
up with the name?
It was like one of those things. I remember sitting on the floor in my living room with my husband and my stepdaughter and just kind of like brainstorming names, and kept going back to Bumps and Bundles. I remember my husband the whole time was like, that's the name, obviously. Like, that's what you have to call it. And I was like, I don't know. Like, should we play something with Juliet's name? We call her Jet.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was like, maybe we do something with Jet, but do people understand what that is? Like, I wanted it to be something where when people read the name, they understood
What it was.
what they're
Thank
going to be
you.
walking into.
That's one of the things we coach people on is
Yeah.
if your name doesn't make sense, people aren't going to know what it is.
Yeah. I will say there are a lot of times mostly dads, I will say, are like, what? Bumps and Bundles? I don't get it.
You're like, what a
And then
dad
they're
thing
like,
to say.
oh, like once it clicks, they're like, that totally makes sense.
Of course, you'd have to explain it.
And not all of them, obviously. I'm generalizing.
It's like,
but
put it together, people. Put it together.
Let me mansplain this to
Yeah.
you.
It's so cute when kids say it, though. It's like my favorite. I would love to get a compilation of like little kids saying just the way that they say it. It's all jumbled and backwards, and it's like the cutest
And then
thing
they
ever.
have funny ways of how they say certain letters.
Absolutely.
And things, so it's, yeah.
Okay, I
It's like a
think you should
dream.
start putting that together because
Yeah.
I think
Can
that
you
would
say
be
Bumps
really
and
adorable.
Bundles?
Yeah.
I
I need moms to just send it to me, 'cause get them in the moment. And I have
practice.
kids all the time that'll tell their moms like, let's go to, I want to go to Bumps and Bundles today. Like, it's like
It's a
they
destination.
know it's their store.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
And what a fun thing to have too, I think, in the community. Like, it's an asset. So people do, like, kids do have a fun place to go that's a store really for them.
Yeah.
And things for them. So you name it Bumps and Bundles. You go through, how did you land on some of that more in detail, on some of that branding and rebranding of the store?
Okay, so it's maybe kind of cheesy, but I own a
We
children's
love
store. I'm
cheesy.
allowed to be cheesy.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So when I was actually on vacation in Vegas with some really good friends and my husband, when I got the call that Tina was like, I'm ready to make a deal. And I was sitting at the pool and I was so excited. I was like,
Yes.
like let's go shower and let's go shopping. Yeah, right. You're in Vegas. I'm like, I want to go shopping. Like, let's go out to dinner and celebrate. And I walked into a Kate Spade store.
Oh, I love Kate Spade.
I saw she had like one little section that had stripes on the wall. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do stripes. I'm going to make it like my packaging. I'm going to make it feel like if you see stripes anywhere, black and white stripes, you're going to be like, is that Bumps and Bundles? Even if it's not, like I want it to be a strong messaging that when you see black and white stripes, you think of my children's store. So,
and I love that wall. And I think that's one of my favorites. I like Kate Spade things too, so that's probably why. But I love the black and white and your wrapping paper.
That was her wedding colors.
Oh my gosh, I
love
it.
Black, yeah.
I love it.
I love the black and white.
Well, I feel like it's timeless too. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that come in and out. You know, black and white. That maybe the starkness is not always in, but the branding and the message is kind of always it's going to be everywhere. You're going to see that in other people's marketing always.
So what was it like for you to get to redo the store and get new? Like, I think what's interesting for someone that's not in retail, that really hasn't worked in retail before, of how do you know what brands you're getting? Like, how do you do all of that and source for the store?
Well, it's kind of a guessing game.
And then starting out, it's like, how do you do that? Like, how do you even know where to look? What to do?
So there are markets that we go to. I used to go to LA a lot, and you would just kind of go hunt, honestly. So you walk in, there's floors and floors of different vendors and reps and things like that.
Market, right?
Yeah, that you can go and kind of source from. So that's what I did. I just kind of started walking in, introducing myself. And, a lot of times they're a little bit leery about just like taking your order. They're like, who are you? Do we want to work with you? Is this a good fit?
Do we have a relationship with you?
Yeah. So you kind of have to prove who you are. And in the beginning, it was a challenge. I will say there were a lot of brands that, not that they weren't interested in taking my money, but it did feel like they were like, I don't know.
A little apprehensive.
Yeah.
About how
here
it's
it is.
work.
Like, let me pay. Like, I want it.
Yeah. So you go in and you place bulk orders and you tell them what sizes you want and you pick out, it's a whole collection and you pick out the certain styles that I'm like, the moms in Billings would love this, or the kids in Billings would love this, or the dads in Billings even would love this, kind of whatever that feels and looks like. And then there's times where we might take a risk where we're like, that's super cool. And we're gonna
try it out.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to see what the people think. And a lot of times it's really worked out for us. So
now child clothing is a lot different than like women or men's clothing in the buying process. Can you go into a little bit about how they're different?
Yeah, sure. So my understanding, obviously I'm only in the children's industry, but my understanding is in women's, you have a lot of immediates that you can buy. So you can do some pre-orders, but then when you go, when you're in season and you're like, wow, I have nothing left, no black tank tops left, and it's the middle of summer, I can go reorder them. With children's, and it is a growing industry, this has gotten a little bit better over the years, but you have to pre-order everything because once it's sold, it's gone. So, I have to go in and say, I'm placing this massive bulk order and it has to last me 6 months. So it'll come in February and I have to sell through it through August.
Yeah.
And then again, same thing in the fall, it'll come in July and I have to sell it through it in January. So kind of just
interesting.
Yeah. Understanding the market, what's going to sell, how much of something I need,
Was that a refining process for you, or after all of the retail experience you had, did you have that pretty down of like, I know this black tank top's going to be in and sell like all year round, where this other thing maybe not as much?
It's definitely a learning curve, and it's ever changing. So when you think of like us, we're typically the same size season over season. With kids, they're growing every year. So if my top 10 customers were in these sizes last year, I need to make sure like, okay, are they going to grow into this size? It's a lot of decisions and a lot of math and a lot of thinking.
Sounds like days of decision making where I'm oh my God.
You really have to stay with your trends. Like you really have to be up and understanding what you need to do in order to make sure you have what they need.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And I like a few things I love, because again, like I don't have kids, but like when I'm thinking of gift giving that I think that are like timeless things that you carry. You have a beautiful book selection for kids.
Absolutely.
And I love kid books. So like beautiful selection, beautiful blankets that I feel like are just timeless for kids. And then of course the jelly cats are like,
how do you say no to those?
I'm like, how do I say no to that? I'm like, I want every single one.
Right?
Why? I don't know. I loved stuffed animals as a kid. But I think just stunning things in the little mice house. I know that has a special name and I'm not sure what it is, but the little, they're very...
It's Miley is how you actually say it, but we call it Maleg because that's how it's read.
Got it.
And,
but they're so cute.
Yeah.
They're like these little mice
Yes.
and the little house and the little everything. So cute. So when did, talk to us about the Shiloh location and really what led to your expansion?
Sure. So I was about, I would say probably 8 months in downtown, and I was like, this is not going to work. There's no way I can survive down here, honestly, with the traffic I was getting. I don't know how else to put it. I was not getting enough people through my doors. I was trying to do a lot of online pushes and advertising and things like that. And again, it just was not working. So,
and what year was that? Just to give us to know.
2015. I opened in August of 2015. So it was like
Instagram wasn't really as prominent maybe then.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it was growing really fast then. So I was definitely using it. It just was, I don't know. I don't know if it was the location. I was just maybe a block away from kind of the action of downtown Billings.
Oh, okay. Like that main strip where there's the stores.
Which has changed over the years. But, back in 2015.
And if people have their kids and they're shopping, they might want to just, it's just different.
Yeah. Yeah. So I started kind of talking with the bank and I was like, I think I need to move. The space that I had originally looked at Shiloh Crossing was still open. And so I was like, I think I need to be in that space, kind of where the shopping mecca of Billings is.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so I started working with Steve Corning, started just making moves, and I just was like, I'm not ready to give up on this dream, but I can't, this dream isn't going to pan out here.
It's not going to do it here, yeah.
Yeah. So it was a really fun process to get to design the store, to get to kind of, pick out what I wanted the cash wrap to look like and what I wanted, the floors to be like. Things like that was really fun. And I had a interior designer that held my hand through a lot of that, but there was a lot of things that I was like, I definitely know I want this. I definitely know we need this. So, and it's, that's changed over the years as well too, but it was really fun.
To really make your dream more of a reality with that new.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and with all of these changes and expansions, how have you stayed focused on your brand and not lost sight of why you originally started?
Well, I think it's easy because the reason I originally started comes home with me every day.
Jet's right there,
yes.
tell you.
And is she helping in the store at all? Is she old enough?
She's 10 now, which is crazy.
3 more years and she can be there.
So she does, obviously, she's 10 and I'm her mom. So it's not like I'm a teacher or boss that she's going to necessarily always listen to. But she does love to help. She loves to ring customers up. One of my favorite moments was last fall. It was evening and we kind of got busy right at the evening time and I stayed a little later to help. I had one employee over helping a customer. I was wrapping a gift and Juliet was kind of just standing there. And one of the customers I know by her first and last name, I would say she's my friend, was standing at the register. And Juliet just goes over and she puts her hand on the counter and she goes, I can get you over here if you're ready. And I was like, you can?
That's so cute.
Yeah.
So what great skills she's learning at such a young age. And I feel like, because I have a little cousin that's 9 and I'm like, honestly, in the past, she's so helpful.
Yeah.
And she can do a lot of things and is helpful, articulate, and how fun for you to experience that with your daughter.
Yeah, It was really cool. And, the customer was so gracious. And so, she kind of knew the system of what, we ask for everyone's name and make sure they get the reward points and all of that. So she was really gracious in letting Juliet help her too. So
that's awesome.
That's
I
so
just
fun.
think of like the soft skills she's learning, the customer service skills.
Totally.
I think one of the things that is really hard for the younger generation is having that communication and because we're so digital now.
Sure.
So that is just setting her above going forward in life. I think it's crazy. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I hope
Does
she
she
thinks
love
of
coming
it.
to work with you?
I think that there's like a fine line, you know, like she came yesterday and it was a pretty long day because we were on vacation last weekend. So I think there's a line where she's like, I am so sick of being here. But typically, yes, you know, she likes to be there and, you know, see my team, see customers and things like that. She loves babies and kids. So, which is
that's
really
nice,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she can see them when
Yeah.
she's helping shop. So then you guys had that and then you expanded, if I'm not mistaken. What brought that expansion on into the Shiloh location?
So we were growing at a really rapid pace compared to what we were doing downtown. And when you think of, you know, the amount you're spending on a children's clothing item versus the amount you maybe would spend on your own clothing item in a boutique setting, you know, you're at like a $40 cost per hanger at a children's store. And at women's, maybe you're 80 to 100, right? So I need more space for more items to get, you know, the sales in. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
To get that same ticket.
yeah, exactly. So we needed more space to be able to sell more things. And I was like quickly learning like this is not enough space. And then we brought in strollers and car seats, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're like packed to the gills right now with and not enough room. We didn't have any backspace. We didn't have, you know, any. It wasn't built for the amount of volume we were doing. So, and then COVID hit and I was like, oh, what? No, I don't know what we're doing. Kind of pulled back. That was actually in 2019. We were going to expand and then chose not to. And then kind of after the dust settled from COVID, like later in the year, I was like, nope. In fact, we're doing more sales than we were before. We need to do this. So
How was COVID for you? Just being retail, like what things and strategies did you guys implement?
So it was really stressful. It was definitely a time where a lot of people were like, just take some time off and relax. And I was like, this is go time right now. Like I'm not, nope.
You can't be forgotten, right? Like you have to be.
Yeah. So I do think that we pivoted really quickly into, it was around Easter time. So I was like, what can we do? How can we sell Easter baskets? How can we drop them off at people's doors? How can we, you know, curate things for people?
You guys did such a great job.
Thank you.
I know. I remember seeing some of the Easter basket pictures.
Yeah, they were so
like,
cute.
Mom, just kidding.
Go get me some jelly cats for my
I
Easter
want a
basket.
jelly cat, like an Easter bunny.
And it's
ready.
turned into something like I feel like our customers, love. So it was something bred out of like, how do I continue to drive business? How do I help moms who maybe don't want to get out of the house? How do I give them things that they're going to love, that are practical, that are useful, but are also beautiful, and make it, you know, joyful in a season where, you know,
It wasn't.
we were
really,
all searching for a little bit of joy. So it was amazing. I was blown away by the support of not only the community, but customers all over the US. And that's kind of what spurred me to just like, I'm like, if I can just sell one Easter basket today, I'll be fine. If I can just sell one more Easter basket today. And so I was at the store every day. I think every day that the country was shut down, my husband bought us a dog.
Oh,
So Jet and the new puppy and I were
at the store.
selling Easter baskets. So yeah.
I think a lot of people got dogs over COVID.
I know. What was that?
Pets,
Yeah.
other things.
Everyone was
Yeah.
like, midlife crisis right now.
Yes. Time for a dog.
Needy. But it was good. Like they go outside and,
Yes.
and do all of that. So then COVID came and then your business was growing.
Yes.
And then you really moved forward with
Yep.
expanding the store.
Yep.
Which has just been great.
Yes. Yeah. So the store next to us decided to close her doors after COVID. And I was like, called up Steve Corning. I'm like, hey, so I'm interested in that space. What could that look like? And then we kind of moved forward. You know, it was a lot of challenges of being closed for a certain amount of time during construction, trying to stay open while some of the construction was happening. You know, I still have employees to pay. I still have rent to pay. I still have
Customers that want to shop.
Yeah, exactly. So that was interesting to navigate. I think we crushed it. I think we did a good job trying to kind of pivoting through that. And then, we reopened and had a huge party. The community was like so excited to see the new space. That was so fun. Like one of those moments that I will cherish forever.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you mentioned having employees. How has that grown for you with the store expansion? And how do you, as a leader and a business owner, manage and create a culture of inspiration and fun and all of those things that you see and experience in the store?
Yeah, I mean, I think making them be a part of it and, asking their opinions and understanding, like if they have some buy-in to it, they're going to be more inclined to want to, like make it successful together. So I think I don't want to say I expect a lot from my team, but I probably do. I expect, I'm always asking like, what do you want to learn next? You've been here even 5 years. Like, what's next for you? Like, what are you excited about? What can you, learn on the back end? What kind of alt tags do you want to put in? Things like that they maybe didn't even know existed prior.
Oh, that's awesome. You've been in business for now 8+ years, which is a huge milestone in business to pass. Yeah. What are some things that you've learned? And is there anything that you would go back and say, oh, don't do that or change this up?
I think that business is something you're always learning, something it's never boring. I definitely think making, just being confident in yourself as a business owner. And even if you make the wrong choice, you're still making a choice and it's still moving you forward. I think sometimes it's easy to be like, okay, I have these 12 options. How am I ever going to narrow down to one option? Just trust your gut, trust what you know is best for you and make the decision for, you and your why. Always go back to your why.
Oh, I love that.
And being in the retail space, it is unique. What are some of those tips and things that you go back to every time in your marketing and your merchandising for those maybe thinking like, oh, I've always wanted to start like some type of retail or product store? What tips do you have for them?
I think to never set it and forget it. As far as merchandising goes, you can't just be like, we did it. It's beautiful.
Stunning. My favorite.
It might look beautiful for a day. It might look beautiful for a week, but you have to remember that product is selling through and you have to move it. And customers, there will be times I've had something for a while and I'll move it to a different table or I'll put it with a different pair of shorts or, however I'm feeling I might need to re-merchandise it. Customers are like, wow, you got so much new stuff. I mean, you have to.
They're like, thank you.
Yeah.
Right. We did.
Yeah. You have to understand, I'm not trying to trick anyone by any means, but you have to understand they can't see every piece of merchandise that you have in the store when they walk in. They're usually either on a mission, they're busy moms, they have their kids with them, things like that. So
getting distracted.
Yeah, exactly. Or they're see something else that they thought was beautiful in that moment and they don't see the 1,000 of other items that you have on the floor.
Absolutely. That's actually going to be one of my questions because I think you do such a great job at merchandising your store. And even though you carry a lot of inventory, it doesn't ever feel cluttered or overwhelming when you go in. Can you give some tips to businesses that might struggle with that?
I think part of it is, understanding when things are selling through to move things around so things don't look, spaced out and empty. But then also like thinking about white space. So you don't want to cram so many things onto a rack or cram so many things onto a table just because it, might match or it might look good or the color palette works. It doesn't have to be on the table. You can put a rack beside it or around it. It's something in the retail we always called like floor to wall adjacency. So when you're thinking like of looking at the floor to a table to the wall, all of those things need to be merchandised together in a similar color palette and style rather than just like the one thing immediately in front of you. So a lot of times I try and put like all the bright things I might have over on one side of my store and all the muted things over on another side.
I need to come back in now.
No, I'm like, I feel like I'm seeing that like when I've walked in before because I come in for gifts, obviously for things, but like I definitely feel that. And it's nice because it's like if you are looking for something more bright, but what if you want something more neutral, different tones, like then you can go over here. And then the jelly cats are beautifully like added into those specific areas and those things too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, trying to merchandise as a customer would shop because the customer is the expert, right? The customer is the one that's making the decision. So if I have all my baby stuff and some 8-year-old toddler boy things together with all that baby stuff, that can be really confusing and misleading for the customer. But then there's some brands that carry all those sizes. So how do you navigate like making a corner specifically for older kids, a corner specifically for baby, and then meshing it all together in the middle?
Oh, wow.
I think that is something to think about. So as someone like you're busy, you're married, you have a family and you have a business, how are you integrating that into your day in and day out so that you're spending enough time with the family, but also in the business?
Yeah, we try not to say the trigger word work-life balance.
We don't know if we like it anymore, but
I mean, I think there's seasons of rest and seasons of like go time. And I will tell my family, it is go time this week. Like I have a lot on my plate. I'm going to be working late hours. I have to re-merchandise this thing. I have a sale going on. We have a launch, whatever it might be. And sometimes those things all happen
at the same time.
Like this week is one of those weeks. Like all those things are happening. So just really trying to give them heads up rather than surprise them with that. But then also I'm really intentional. Like when I got home last night, it would have been really easy for me to get on my computer and be like, I need to do some marketing. I like went outside and went on a bike ride with my daughter. And it's good for me too, because I can dive into work and stay there. And I love my work. So it's easy to just be in it. But I think that just remembering what's important, who's important, and at the end of the day, what's going to be left over is the people you love. So
I love that. Earlier, you made a mention to being community focused and the community really rallies behind you. And what drives your love for community and why is that so important to your business?
I think that we need each other. I think that for a business to thrive, I need the community to show up for me, and for the community to be a fun place to be, the community needs places like my shop to kind of, it's like a yin and yang, I think, together. And then we have so many awesome people in the community too, we've held events for, giving back. We've held huge parties, things like that. Like people like love to show up and just be part of the action. And I think it's really cool to see, to see them show up and see them show up for each other. They make it like an event, whether it's, they bring their mom with them and their sisters, or they bring their best friends. Like I feel like it's always exciting for them too. And it makes a huge impact. Cannot stress that enough. It makes such a huge impact on small business owners.
Oh, I love that.
It's fun to see like some of you guys that own small boutiques or in different like baby clothing, retail, home goods, those kinds of things, have events where you're bringing in other people, like
the collaboration,
that do, like Hallie, who does tattoos, the Golden Links, who they do bracelets and all of those things. So it's like, I think it's a fun place, like you said, to bring community together where they're coming in to do some shopping, but they also can do these other fun things with their girlfriends, their family and friends, and have a reason to go and do something. And you're bringing that together, which is super special.
And it's not just, come buy stuff. It's come like experience this event, come see people that come, you don't have to come and buy anything. You can just come be there and, be a presence. And we've been trying to even bring in like younger vendors too. We had a girl at our Mother's Day event who I believe she's 11. And she sold like these cute little cups she made and some earrings. And just
fun.
Doing things like that, like giving her a place to kind of grow and blossom in her own realm, I think is a huge passion of mine. Like I would love to have more people like that. So if you're listening to this podcast, get a hold of me.
That's so fun. And I think that like it's giving them an experience that they're going to remember, and they might end up having a shop one day when they're old enough to open it and be an entrepreneur themselves.
Yes.
I love that. I love really encouraging entrepreneurship, and I do a lot with the high schools and the entrepreneur markets that are around Billings, and it's just so exciting to see the creativity.
Yes.
And I feel like at some point, like we're stifled. And so to see them being like fully bloomed in it is awesome. Seeing an 11-year-old, there's an 11-year-old who actually took home a pitch competition this year. Cool. Or I guess I should say he started his business when he's 11. He's 17 now. Okay. Still doing that business.
Wow.
and he just won the pitch competition this year.
That's
so
amazing.
It is so great to see them and
Yep.
and encourage them,
Yep.
because it is so powerful to be able to be your own boss, to make those decisions, to impact people, be a part of community.
And to fail. I mean, I think that there's times where you might make those decisions when you're younger and like start something,
Yeah.
and it might not work out, and that's okay. And there's no time frame on your dream.
So
I
I love that too. Talking more about the photography, like you started that, then you self-taught, you were doing those things. Talk to us about your marketing, because it is stunning.
Thank
You
you.
have a really beautiful online presence, and just if you could talk about the marketing and the importance of having an online presence too.
Yeah. So my team has helped a lot with my marketing. I do want to give them a shout out in that. So I think that there's, I don't know, like an eye you kind of have to have for marketing. I try really hard to think of my Instagram feed in particular to mimic my store, and to have white space, and to have, when you're scrolling through, you can see like pops of like the team, and you can see pops of certain brands and different brands, and car seats and things like the other product lines that we carry. So you're not just seeing, here's a flat lay, here's a flat lay, here's product that could go cute together. You're seeing like a mix of a lot of things, but it's done in a way that like the color palettes kind of all make sense together. And you don't have 3 faces in a row. It's like a face and a stroller and a product. So,
And I like that you use, I think, your daughter and others, but you're using real kids, not just like stock photography of the products too, and of them using that. And I just think that hits differently for people when you're looking at that. It's like, oh, this is real. Like these are real people.
I know
honestly,
them.
They're probably
Yeah.
people that Billings people know, which is fun.
Yeah.
And it's not just the stock imagery.
we've
But I
always
love that
thought-
intentionality behind like mixing it up, and so that when you go to it, it's stunning.
yeah. And we've always kind of thought, those brands have their own style and their own Instagram and their own, marketing plan that maybe doesn't always work with ours. So we have to kind of think of it as, how do we make their product our product? Like, we're not here to sell their brand. We're here to sell bumps and bundles. So thinking
And how do
of
you
it that
brand
way.
it bumps and bundles and mix it up and,
Yeah.
and pair things differently
Yeah,
together?
exactly. Well, you put your own spin on it, and I think using our own photography helps a lot with that.
Yeah.
I just want to throw this one weird thing out there. You have the softest store.
Softest?
Like, all the stuff is so soft.
Yes.
I'm a
Yes.
I go into stores and I have to touch everything, which is
Yes.
crazy because
The blankets.
when we were younger,
jelly
my mom would
pads.
never let us touch anything, and I don't know if that's what's made me touch everything as
Feels like touch.
like
Yes.
a sense of rebellion. But man, everything in there is just so soft,
And
I'm like,
that is
"Oh."
intentional as well. I mean, a little baby should have to be in a scratchy little outfit. I mean, even if it's a tulle tutu situation and we're going all out girly, it needs to be soft.
Well, and it's like good for you don't want to put bad materials on their skin.
Yeah.
It's like their skin is so sensitive.
Yep.
I want those bamboo, I just want the bamboo things.
Yeah.
They're so soft.
They are so soft. Well, and holding, like, there's literally nothing better than giving your baby a bath, getting them all just like freshened up and putting bamboo jammies on them. It's like literally just the best thing in the
Oh
world.
my gosh.
So if someone's like coming to Billings, they're listening to the podcast, maybe they haven't been in the store yet, like what are those things that it's like, get this, if you're giving it as a gift or for your own kid?
Oh, man. I feel like I could go a million different ways with that question. Perfect gift would probably be a bamboo pajama. Do not get a size 3 to 6. Get smaller or bigger, because everyone is going to size a 3 to 6 month size.
Okay. Ooh, that's so interesting because that's what I do. I go, everyone's buying 0 to 3, so I'm going to get 3 to 6.
That's what everyone does.
So get a difference.
And then they also think like, oh, they're going to be able to wear it longer at 3 to 6 months. Just get smaller or get bigger, and then do the math on the time of year. Bamboo pajamas are going to be the same all year round, so you don't have to worry about those.
Nice.
You can get whatever size you want. It's going to work. A copper pearl swaddle blanket. So
Yes, I've
they're
heard great things about those.
They're like the stretchy knit swaddles.
Will you show people how to use them?
Yes. A lot of times I don't have a baby, so I'll swaddle a jelly cat.
jelly cats are so versatile.
And they're not just cats, people. They are like, you can get a mushroom jelly cat, pizza.
If you could dream it up, you can get it. There's Bigfoot, there's dragons, there's,
Ooh, I might have to come get the Bigfoot
oh my
one.
gosh, she's so cute.
Okay, I'll show you just because I have it here.
But keep telling us what products you
Oh my
like.
gosh, you need the Bigfoot.
Kayla has the Bigfoot on her
So
backpack.
actually got this for me.
I'll get you the Bigfoot jelly cat.
Yes. Christmas gift coming at you. And then I would say one of our little like lovey Serenonies. I think that's the perfect gift. I would top it off with that. And obviously a little jelly cat on top.
Yes.
We typically put it on the outside of the package and like
So
tie the
cute.
ribbon around its like little stomach. And I'm not kidding you guys. It looks so cute.
Oh my
It does.
gosh.
I can see it. I feel like I've gotten that as a gift, and then they do wrap it like that.
Marcel and I are going to have to come in and just
buy a jelly
shop.
cat.
Yeah.
for our office.
Yeah, we'll just have to. It'll be our mascot, our vault mascot.
Yes, I love it.
That's so fun.
So I have one last question for you before we jump into our rapid fire. But what advice would you give a small business owner or entrepreneur that is looking to take that leap?
Do it.
Just do
Trust
it.
your gut. Just do it. Find a way. If you fail, you fail. You're going to have had an experience.
Oh,
I love that.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So it's been so fun to have you and hear your
Thank you.
story, and it's making us want to go shopping,
I
even though
know.
we don't have kids.
I just need to touch all the soft stuff.
Right?
But we like to end each episode with a few rapid fire questions, and so we'll hear a quick message from a sponsor and then jump into those questions.
Hi, this is Shannon Hahn with the Department of Transportation and the Small Business Program. I'm here to talk to you today about the DBE and the SBE programs. The DBE program is for disadvantaged small businesses, so that's minority and women, and the SBE program is for non-minority and non-women-owned businesses. These programs provide business assistance to contribute to the growth and self-sufficiency of businesses in the transportation industry. Services include business skills development, training, networking opportunities, bonding assistance, and much, much more. So if you're a highway-related business, please go to our website. You'll see what the eligibility criteria is at mdt.mt.gov. You can call our 1-800 number, which is 800-883-5811. So give us a call. Thanks.
Okay, well, we're back, and I have our first question for you. What are some non-negotiables in work and life?
I would say just being flexible with understanding there are times where you have to be working hard, times where you don't have to be working hard, and, being flexible with your team. Definitely flexible.
I love that. My rapid fire question is best mom tip.
Dress them how you can, well you can.
I really like that. Well, you can.
Before they get
Keyword.
opinions. No.
Really?
Yeah, but also, and you can't hold them too much, no matter their age.
Oh, that's sweet. I'm excited to ask you this one. What's your favorite shoe in your closet?
Favorite shoe? Oh my gosh.
You've got great style.
Yes, you
So,
do.
Thank you. Oh man.
Like that go-to shoe.
Okay, I have this pair of boots from Something Chic.
We love Something Chic.
Yeah, I think they're called the Katie boot.
Okay.
I think Linda will come for me if I'm wrong.
We'll have her on. She's scheduled, so.
You'll have to ask her.
Yeah.
But they just literally pair with everything, whether it's a dress or jeans or flares, whatever. They look cute with everything, and they're really comfortable.
And what color are they?
Oh, I actually have two pairs. So
Okay.
I have brown and I have like a snakeskin black one. Yeah, they're really cute.
Oh, I think I know.
So
the
you could wear them
snakeskin
with
ones you're talking
everything.
about. So
Literally
cute.
everything.
So chic.
Yeah,
So
right.
we usually do 3, but we're going to do 4 for you.
Oh, I'm so
Ooh.
lucky.
Yes, because I do have a question.
Okay.
What is your favorite product in your store?
Oh my goodness. Everything. Okay, so Serenoni blankets, hands down.
Are those the little soft ones with the like silk on the edges?
Yes, but they're not my favorite for kids. They're my favorite for me.
Yeah.
They're also the perfect gift. They're like the perfect, like for
I've
your
gifted them,
friend.
yeah.
For your mom, for your mother-in-law.
I love that.
They're the perfect price point. They are so cozy. They wash so well. There is not a person I have met that doesn't like them.
Everyone loves a
love
soft
that.
blanket.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, it's been so much fun to have you. Where can
Thank
people
you.
find you, get connected, shop?
So Instagram, you can find me at Bumps and Bundles Inc. You can find us at Shiloh Crossing. If you know where Shields is, you can see my store in the parking lot. You can find me online at bumpsandbundles.com. And the and is an N, so it's bumpsandbundles.com.
Cute, cute.
Yeah.
Anything fun coming up that you want to share?
Yes, I was hoping you'd ask. It is our 9-year anniversary coming up in September. We're going to have a huge party.
Fun.
So everyone come, be there. We're going to have a really fun giveaway. Our theme is going to be on Cloud 9.
Ooh.
So we might have a fun Jellycat, thing going on. So
We are there.
And then 10 years next year.
yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's exciting.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing really well. Statistically,
Thank
in the
you.
business world, you're doing amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us and being part
Thank
of the
you for
Billings
having me.
community. We
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Yes. Thanks so much, you guys.
We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Make sure you are subscribed to The Vault at 201 North Broadway, wherever you podcast, including YouTube.
Connect with us on Facebook at The Vault at 201 North Broadway and Instagram at The Vault_201.
Don't forget to visit us at thevault@201.com and subscribe to our newsletter.
We will see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you to Big Sky Economic Development for supporting The Vault at 201 North Broadway. Big Sky Economic Development provides leadership and resources for business creation, expansion, retention, new business recruitment, community development, and workforce development. Learn more at bigsky.economicdevelopment.org.